chain, oh, that works. Thank you. You engage in an email chain or meet together in any public forum and talk about traffic safety board business, then you could be establishing a quorum if there's 3 or more of you present at that time. You can be in the same place at the same time, and any time you want to. Could happen at a civic meeting or at the grocery store or at school or whatever. As long as you do not discuss traffic safety or city business, you're fine. But if once you do that, then you could be establishing a quorum in an unofficial meeting that's not publicly noticed properly. So just be aware of that. And if you have any questions where like 3 of you or more of you are going to be at the same party or something, just let us know, and we can walk you through what to do with that. We do operate roughly on Robert's Rules of Order, and that kind of keeps things flowing and keeps some order to the way the meetings are conducted. Typically, we ask that only one person have the floor at a time, and the proper way to do it is for the chair to call on people and give someone the floor. Although once you get into discussion, it's fine to have an informal conversation back and forth. Just be courteous to people and don't talk at the same time because again, it's all going over the microphone. We want to be able to clearly record it and understand what's being said. Under Robert's Rules of Order, we did this a while ago, any action item, and you'll always have at least probably 2 action items on the agenda. One will be the approval of the minutes, and then one will be the adjournment of the meeting. And the chair can then call, when you get to those items, the chair can call for that motion to be done. And somebody says, I move to approve the minutes as presented. Someone says, I second the motion, and then you call for a vote. Everybody can raise their hand or give a verbal vote, however you want to do it, and then that gets recorded as well. If there's other action items on the agenda, then it will be stated on the agenda and we can prompt you if we get to one of those. I don't think we have anything else on there tonight that's not just a discussion or an update that would require a vote. See, it kind of covered the voting part of it there. One thing to note is since there's 5 regular positions, only 5 people, let's say we have alternates here, and so if only 5 members of the board can legally vote on any item, if the 5 regular members are there, then they will be the ones to vote. In the case of alternates taking a place of a regular member, then the chair will need to appoint or recognize, you don't have to appoint them, but you recognize who would take the place, what alternate or maybe in some cases both alternates then would fill a regular seat and be eligible to vote. So in other words, if you have 4 regular members here and 1 alternate, then you can recognize the fact that the alternate is a voting member, and that is followed by the appointment position that people hold. So alternate number 1 would be the first person to fill a regular seat, and alternate number 2 would be the second person to fill a regular seat. If there's 2 vacancies, then both of them are filling a regular seat and they can both vote. Any member of the board, alternate or regular, can participate in the discussions, but if in fact there is a action item, then only those 5 members could vote. So is that clear? So if you're missing anybody, any regular member, the alternate takes the place and becomes eligible to vote, but otherwise you can only discuss items, ask questions, and participate in the conversations. See, I think I covered the way to do motions. And again, we'll always have a standing item on the agenda for future agenda items to be brought up, and anybody can bring those up. And that's about all I have. Is there any questions? All right. Move on to the next item.
All right, welcome, Madam Chair and members of the board. Thank you for being here tonight. So an update on the traffic safety concerns at Old Decatur during the ILT drop-off and pickup times. We've gone up there and kind of looked at that. It seems to be working much better this year. We don't have near the backup on Old Decatur that we normally have. I know Mayor Pro Tem Fileggi brought up some of the cars that back up into the neighborhood in the Dominion. Is the best of my knowledge, we haven't received any complaints from any residents in there. I think the biggest complaints came to where they couldn't get in their driveways and get out, but we haven't had any complaints of that this year. So hopefully everybody's backing up in there but leaving the driveways and stuff open. The two off-duty officers that do the traffic control during drop-off and let-out times, they do a pretty good job at it to keep it flowing. I know some of the concerns we had is you're not able to turn left out of there. So if we were to stop Old Decatur traffic to allow left-hand lanes to turn that way, we would actually back Old Decatur up a whole lot more. Seeing as how Old Decatur is the major roadway, it's better to let them continue to flow and force everybody to the right. I know that also created a concern with people going forward on Old Decatur to the north and then making a U-turn. It's not illegal to do that. They can make U-turns there if they want to, legally by the traffic law. Even if, I know we had mentioned one time putting concrete medians in and stuff to prevent that. For lack of a better term, if we did that, we're just kicking the can down the road, because all they're gonna do then is go to the light at Bose and make their U-turns there. So I guess where I'm going with it is ILTs, it's about as good as it's gonna get. I am happy with the way it is compared to 2 years ago. They cleared a lot of that out. We're not backing up near as far as we used to be. We're not getting complaints or concerns about it from any of the residents at this time, and they seem to be flowing pretty well. So the update on Willow Creek Elementary, for those of you who don't know, Willow Creek is kind of a whole different animal in itself because we only have 2 lanes there. The biggest complaint that we had in the past was the center turn lane. People that were not wanting to drop off or pick up children that were just trying to go east or westbound would use the center turn lane as a main lane of traffic to go by. It is illegal to do that, and it is a traffic safety concern. So typically what we do with Willow Creek is we put 2 officers up there in the morning and 2 officers up there in the evening. We do that for the first 2 weeks of school. We kind of get all the new parents that aren't used to it and stuff like that, and everybody kind of where they need to go. We made a few changes this year. We did advertise this on Facebook. Everybody seemed to see it. It worked out really well. We had Corey Smith and Public Works go up, and we put permanent barricades blocking the center turn lane where you couldn't travel from the east or the west side of the school through the center turn lane. We basically shut that lane down for those 2 weeks, and then advertised if you weren't dropping off or picking up children, please find alternate routes. It seemed to work very well. The first 2 weeks went pretty normal for the start of school year, and then we cleared out of there, and just like years in the past, they kind of fall into how it needs to work, and that's come around again just like we expected it to and things like that. So I don't really have any concerns up there. Again, that one is running just like we thought that it would throughout the year and stuff like that. As far as after those 2 weeks, if people drive down the center turn lane and an officer sees it, he can choose at that point to make the traffic stop for it and issue a citation or a warning, whatever his feelings are at that point. But we haven't had a lot of complaints about that either. Keep in mind this year was a little bit different for us because the roundabout at Knowles is still closed for construction, which knocks a lot of that traffic down. People did go through the Dominion, which is the detoured route that is marked by the construction company. I did worry that we would have quite a bit of backup into the Dominion. We did not. I believe the first day of school, there was 19 cars that actually parked at the Dominion and decided to walk their children over to the school. Where they were parked is completely legal. They weren't blocking driveways or anything, so we didn't receive any complaints there either. One of the concerns that did come up this year is the Tricon development is starting to have people move into it now. I know that we have at least 4 children, is what I'm told right now, that live in Tricon that do attend Willow Creek Elementary, which posed the small issue of we don't have any crosswalk painted on the ground or anything right there for them. I believe Public Works is aware of that and has talked to the school, and it's my understanding that we will get the crosswalk there for them, because, you know, that is an issue that has now arisen that we'll take care of, and things like that. But other than that, overall, as far as the school traffic, the start of school and everything, I think I've been very happy with it. I'd say that we were a little bit better off than normal. We've had worse years, you know, and we've definitely had more complaints than what we had this year. We really didn't have a whole lot of complaints there at all. So do y'all have any questions about either one of those? Okay, thank you very much.
I'm up. The flashing stop signs at Prairie Moon, I got with Paul this week, and we're waiting for the October 1st new budget because they are a little pricey, and then they're going to get those ordered and get those up. So I updated, there's a couple of residents at the last council meeting from over there, and we updated them as well. Corey, I'll let you talk a little bit about the next one. We talked last time about the no left turn onto Prairie Moon from Bailey Boswell, and you want an update on that?
So the no left turn coming out of that subdivision, the signs will be ordered. We just now found out about this yesterday. The sign order will be placed in on Monday, so hopefully by the end of next week or so, we'll have those 2 signs. We will install one on Prairie Moon coming out of the subdivision, and then we'll have another one put on eastbound traffic on Bailey Boswell in that center median. And hopefully we'll have that done in the next week or 2.
What about Jarvis going north?
I do not know if they make a sign saying, no, you can't go straight. No, we can do a sign that says no left turns, or maybe a sign that says
Right turn.
right turn only.
I would say right turn only until that light gets put in,
Yes, that's our 2 options.
because the way that traffic goes across and trying to turn left, that's the unsafe part.
Yes. So if that's what you want, if y'all want to do a right turn only coming out of the neighborhood,
No, there's 2 different streets there. There's a Prairie Moon coming out of the neighborhood going south. Going north, it's Jarvis
yes.
is the right turn only
Well,
coming out.
Jarvis will still cross the intersection.
Yeah, but that's where,
We can't stop that.
Yeah, if we, because of the park your truck and the amount of commercial traffic that we have coming down Jarvis, I would say the majority of those vehicles do make the left-hand turn and head westbound on that road. I mean, we can't really shut that down, and if we did, we would create a disaster with all the commercial vehicles because they can't get and head back towards to the west, which is where most of them go when they come out of there, is towards the boulevard. And I don't know that the way the intersection's set up, I mean, it is designed legally to be able to turn left and or right. So there's not a lot we can do as far as I mean, if you want to put a flashing stop sign there, you can, but I don't think we can tell them that they can't make a left turn there.
because the other option is for them to go south down to Minton, where there's a controlled light to go across the tracks and turn. And when they're turning left there at peak hours, with it being a 1-lane street, it backs up traffic that can't even turn right because one person wants to turn left.
Yeah, I mean, we back up at Minton as it is now with the commercial traffic coming out of all the industrial area over there. if we were to send all those down that way too, we would create a complete traffic nightmare at Minton. I mean, they would be stacked 20 deep trying to get through lights for, 30 minutes to even get out onto the boulevard. And I don't think there's any way, we'd have to check with the traffic engineer, but I don't think we can tell them there's no left-hand turn there. Because the intersection is designed for left and right there. So, because I know you're talking about, I think your major concern is gonna be the cars, not the commercial vehicles, but the cars that are coming off of Jarvis and headed towards Prairie Moon.
It's both, because I drive a semi-truck through there, and
Right.
it's like, I make it a point not to turn left there.
Right.
Because by the time I get halfway out in the intersection, it's not clear anymore.
Right, I mean, and I know we've only had one accident there, with a commercial vehicle. That particular accident was not the fault of the commercial vehicle, after the investigation was done, but, I mean, I don't know that we can tell them they can't turn left there. That is gonna be a left and right street, especially those commercial guys coming out of I think Park Your Ride's probably the biggest one where they come and pick up their trucks, and they go out to do, their daily jobs. But like I said, I think we can go with the flashing stop signs. I don't think that we can force them to not turn left there for any reason.
No, I just wanted to look at the option of it, because I know in another year, they're gonna be putting up a traffic light there,
Right,
so.
right. Yeah, until then, you could put the flashing stop sign up, but, people just need to drive with the caution that they're supposed to drive with, and be able to yield to those things and stuff like that, so,
What's the speed limit on Bailey Boswell there? 40?
45.
Something to maybe consider reducing that there?
I mean, to reduce it, we'd have to go through the traffic engineers and everything. I don't think that, and especially if we're gonna be getting a stoplight there, by the time you went through an engineering study and everything like that, by the time they got all that figured out, I would guess that we're probably gonna be close to a stoplight.
Okay.
So, I would say that, it is my opinion, I mean, 45 on Bailey Boswell is probably an adequate speed, for that roadway over there. And like I said, guys, we haven't had a lot of, traffic collisions that were severe in that area. The traffic collisions that we had over there, after the investigations were determined, that people were exceeding the speed limit, by a considerable amount, to where they, either lost control of the vehicle that they were operating, or something like that. So, but we haven't had a lot of stuff where people just come around the curve and, oh, there's a truck right there. We haven't had those issues before. So I don't have a ton of concerns there before we get the light in.
Thank you.
So do we want to get a flashing light for Jarvis? Is that something we want to add to this?
I don't know. I mean,
No, I think everybody knows to stop there. It's just, you get a random person trying to turn left during heavy traffic hours, and it backs it up.
Okay.
I think we're good on that one now. All right, gotten emails from residents over in Prairie Moon area, again, Barcy Ranch. We're getting a lot of traffic on Red Moon. People aren't stopping at Sugar Creek, or if they're stopping, they're slowing down, they're just not stopping. So they asked for rumble strips or something. I don't think, they're not gonna hold up, from what we've found on Basswood. So are you guys patrolling that a lot more now? Just said an officer that lives over there, which I'm assuming is Rodriguez. Yeah, he works there a lot, actually. Okay, so, told him we'd bring it up here, so I guess that's about the only thing we can do there is to kind of control it, so. And I think the other issue they had was, there's people that are going east on Bailey Boswell, and they want to go down Whaley Robertson, and the traffic gets all backed up. So they go past it, and then they're turning left onto Prairie Moon, which the no left turn will take care of, and they're looping around, so. I guess that's that. Back to you, Madam Chairman.
Okay, let's see. Last item on this is 3F, discussion regarding future board items, issues, presentations, and concerns. And I do have a few from citizens that have messaged me and asked me about different things. First item being on, let's see, High Country Trail between Basswood and Bailey Boswell, the speeding through there. Want to see if we can get that added to the agenda, our next agenda, and possibly talk about getting like the flashing speed limit sign through there, just to show the different, because it changes from Heather Ridge area. So I think that maybe even a speed limit sign maybe closer to where that intersection changes over to the 20 miles per hour. So the next item that I would like to have added to next agenda is Grand Central, between Basswood to 156, same thing, speeding issues, concerns from residents over there. If we could talk about, same thing, flashing speed limits, it changes from 30 to 20 after you cross through that intersection. And then the flashing stop sign at Trinity Trail and Grand Central, and then with the chatter bumps at the stop or before the stop, seem to work on Basswood, so we can add that to the next agenda. And I had a citizen ask where we're at on getting the sidewalk put in on Basswood. If we have an update on that, or maybe we can get one at the next meeting.
We're at the same situation as the traffic light. It's a year out because of the grant funding.
Okay.
Wasn't the sidewalk a bond issue?
No,
Or what, not on the bond agenda? Okay.
the sidewalk was, the same time we got the grant for the traffic light, we got the grant for the sidewalk.
Okay. Because I just remember we discussed it on the bond committee.
We talked about it a little bit at the bonds, but, after that is when TxDOT came out and awarded us the grant for the
Okay.
sidewalks there.
So there's funding for it, and it just has to be timing wise to get it done.
It's 26, 27 funding, I believe.
Okay.
But we can get an update at the next meeting on that.
All right, thank you.
That's all I have. Somebody else has something? Anyone?
I don't see, I think I asked the gentleman that were sitting over there last time about blocking intersections. They looked at those crisscross on the street markings, pavement markings, not to block. I didn't see it on today's agenda.
Where was this at?
At Spring Hill and Old Decatur. People, even though there's a sign there, they're still approaching that area. And I think I referenced the Haslett has those along 156 over there, not to block, ways into a residential area. And you're waiting, you're kind of at a dead still because you got people, instead of going the roundabout, they're cutting through and doing that, along with the 18-wheelers and everything else. And it's kind of frustrating where you're making your own residents drive around backwards just to get out of the neighborhood, because you got people that are blocking, that don't live in that area, blocking that entryway.
I think Paul and
You had an engineer.
Triton talked about it, but I don't know where we were at with, they were gonna look into it. Spring Hill and Old Decatur.
There's a sign, but they just neglect it.
Is
And
it
that's-
worse, I'm sorry, is it worse at any particular time of day,
All day long.
all day long?
Yeah.
And it's gonna get even more worse with the apartments at 820 in Old Decatur. Because people have to go grocery shopping, and that's on Bailey Boswell.
Yeah, it happens on McElroy too. And all that Hazlet added is you have a sign for do not block intersection, and then they put white hash marks in the intersection so you don't stop there.
I mean, I'll buy the gallon of paint if you want to put it down.
But I didn't know if that was something that the city council wants to look at and adopt and to do at the majority of the intersections where they can be blocked by main traffic lanes.
We do get a lot of, the fire department does like to visit our street a lot because of a neighbor down the road. And I know, I'm sure they get blocked in, and maybe Pete, y'all might be aware of that as well. Sending the ambulance and stuff to a neighbor's house, they have a hard time getting in.
I know that I've been having issues on Park Center with people that are actually doing the speed limit between 20, 25 miles an hour, getting passed up. People are going around them, and they're going around, and that street has a double yellow line down the center, which I believe has been there for a couple of years now. But I'd like to, maybe we talk about next time, maybe a sign, no passing sign or something.
You get people to start parking on the side of the road.
Well, okay. And then there's also the issues of, a lot of our city, I believe, is, there's a lot of parking the opposite way facing traffic that makes us look trashy. So I'd like to see enforcement on that.
Do we have anything else to add to the next one?
Just if you guys come up with anything between meetings, the regulations changed September 1st for the deadline to post stuff. But if you get stuff to either Crystal, myself, or Vicky to be put on the agenda, I believe it's 7 days prior to the meeting, we can get it put on there. Technically, we can't, unless it's on the agenda, we can't have a discussion on it.
Right.
I have an idea for one, and it's along the lines of education. If we can possibly get funding to do signs to educate the drivers that come, not just living at Saginaw, but drive through Saginaw, of what some of the safety traffic laws are, and like before left at stop signs. Because when you go renew your license, you're not tested anymore. It's just assumed that you know all of them, which I think most people probably don't. But something along the lines of educating the general public on what the traffic safety rules are so they could be safer themselves.
I know we talked a little bit about doing some videos to re-educate people on how to drive around roundabouts. So maybe we can do some videos with our with PPAP. Now that we have a community policing officer.
Okay, anyone else have anything? If not, I'll call a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:38 PM.
Motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Okay, you want to vote? Call to vote? Yay.